What's going on, guys? It's me, Giuliano Fan 2016 here, and today I have another trip announcement for you all. I hope you guys are excited for today's video. I'm just super excited to talk about this trip, as today I have announced the 2024 Christmas family vacation trip. Man, super excited about this trip once again. I have never traveled anywhere out during the Christmas holiday, especially when this trip is gonna be within Christmas Eve and Christmas Day. So, Christmas. It's like a holiday where a lot of people spend time with their families. They tend to go home to various places within the state or out of the country. And yeah, spend bonding time with family and friends during the holiday season, exchange gifts and receive gifts from them, host Christmas parties. It's gonna be really amazing to actually visit families and friends for the Christmas season this year. So super excited to get into this, so let's get started with our trip announcement. So, background information. So, we're gonna get started. So, me and my family are going to the Christmas holiday. Well, going to the Philippines for a Christmas vacation to spend some time with families there. So, yes, this will be my first time going to the Philippines to visit family during the winter season. Mainly, it's mostly during the summers when I go back to the Philippines to visit family, but this will be the first time in years since I last visited the Philippines for Christmas. And trust me, Christmas in the Philippines is different compared to Christmas here in America. So yeah, I think the last time I celebrated Christmas during what am I saying? Oh yeah. So the last time I celebrated Christmas in the Philippines is back when I was young. I was man, it sure has been a long time, to be honest. But yeah, I was still a little kid back then when I last celebrated Christmas there. So it'll be fun to relive the good old days back when I was a little kid on what Christmas was like in the Philippines. Yeah, it's really exciting, to be honest. And yeah, really nice to go back there. We always go back there every single year. And yeah, it's been a family tradition to visit families every single year in my home country. So, super excited to get into this. So, let's get started with our flight details. So, as I pull up the next slide, here it is. So, here's the trip. So, I'll be flying from San Francisco International Airport to Manila's Ninoy Aquino International Airport. The dates will be on December 18th, 2024. And it'll last until January 3rd of 2025. So we're gonna get into, I'll be still in the Philippines during the new year as we ring in 2025. So this will be very interesting, to say the least. And I'll have a 2-week stay in the Philippines to visit family, of course. So this is gonna be interesting because we'll be celebrating both Christmas and New Year there. So that's gonna be really exciting. So yeah, that's the trip on this slide right there. So that's kind of the background, the basic information about this trip. Now let's get into the flights. Now, I've flown this airline already, but it's just so surprisingly my parents wanted me wanted us to book this airline because it's cheaper. But as expected, as you saw on the thumbnail, I'll be flying with EVA Air again during my Philippines trip. So the first flight for December 18th will be on the EVA Air Boeing 777-300ER. Flight route will be from SFO to Taipei's Taiwan International Airport, and of course the flight number for that flight, because it departs around the afternoon, is EVA Air Flight 007, and the flight time should be about 14 hours. The time of departure at SFO is 12 o'clock p.m. noontime Pacific Standard Time, and the time of arrival is 6 p.m. China Standard Time, and I'll be seated at 648 Alpha. So yeah, EVA Air, another shot at EVA Air. Yeah, I probably have a couple of flight reports that I already posted as of well, I just only have one flight report posted about EVA Air, but I'll make sure to get that second flight report out by hopefully within this month. But let's see how it all goes. But yes, EVA Air once again, and it's really quite interesting because I've already experienced the EVA Air experience, so yeah, why not experience that again after last year's trip to the Philippines during the summer? So quite interesting right there. And of course, I did put the Star Alliance Boeing 777-300ER because I did flew on this aircraft from last year during my flight going to the Philippines. And honestly, I was really surprised to see that I'll be flying my first special delivery, and the Star Alliance 333 from EVA Air is gonna mark the start of it. So I was really I was really like excited about that flight. And honestly, we'll see what EVA Air has to offer. I'm just curious on what EVA has to do. Like, I wonder what special EVA Air has to offer for December 18th. Hopefully it's, yeah, I don't really want to get my hopes too high if it's going to be another special delivery or not. But still, it's really nice to see you fly on the Star Alliance 333 from last year. And let's see what aircraft EVA Air brings in during my flight going to the Philippines. So, yeah, no additional notes right here since I already flown EVA Air before. So yeah, let's move on to our layover. And yeah, this is kind of like the same deal. It's kind of almost getting like the jizz of like almost like reference to like my previous trip I had. So I'll be having a layover at Taiwan International Airport. The duration for that layover is 2 hours and 30 minutes. And my plans during the layover, it'll be terminal spotting and probably explore more of this airport. I actually tried doing some plane spotting at EVA Air on that, because like there's a balcony outside. However, it's not within the airport ground, so like it's not after you pass security. I had to go outside of the airport, go through customs, and go back inside the airport, and therefore, because like the observation deck for plane spotting is located before security, so that's why I didn't really went into like going into like the plane spotting deck. So yeah, that was a pass, but I was able to plane spot at the windows at least. So yeah, really excited for that. And yeah, exploring more of this airport and kind of like talk about like see what this airport has to offer, because like I didn't really explore that much because I was new to this airport. I kind of was more focused on doing some plane spotting, but yeah, kind of explored it a little bit. But yeah, it's quite interesting to say the least. And yes, that photo right there is actually my photo from my first layover at TPE. So really cool. It's like you can see like the inside. You can really literally see the inside of the terminal. It does look very nice in my opinion. But I'll go over like I think I'll have a layover vlog from my Taipei layover that's gonna be posted soon, so stay tuned for that one. Yeah, I'm trying to like get some content out from my 2023 Philippine summer trip from last year. Well, yeah, of course. But other than that, there's some photos right there. And let's move on to our second flight. And it'll be also on a 777-300ER from EVA Air. The flight will be from Taipei to Manila, RCTP to RPLL. The flight number for that flight is EVA 261. The flight time is 2 hours and 20 minutes. Time of departure is 8:30 p.m. China Standard Time. And the time of arrival is 10:15 p.m. or 10:50 p.m. Philippine Standard Time. And I'll be seated at seat 64 Alpha for that flight. So another window seat. And as for the additional notes, it's possible that I'll be flying on the same aircraft that took me to Taipei from SFO. So I had this experience with this EVA Air 333. I've flown on that aircraft twice, which hence why the photos are the same, because like I ended up flying that same aircraft going to Manila. So quite interesting that I did flow on the Star Alliance 333 EVA Air aircraft twice. So really cool right there, but other than that, it was a brilliant experience to fly on a special delivery once again. So yeah, that's the second flight, so that'll be on December 19th. It's actually December 19th in Taiwan when I arrive, so yeah, that explains why it says December 19th, hence why I departed on the 18th in California. Alright, so now that we got into those two flights, let's talk about what my plan is during my stay in the Philippines. So here it is. So as you can see, a couple of bullet points I do want to talk about. So of course, one of them is spending some Christmas time with family and friends. And as you can see by these pictures, like the topmost pictures, you can see these are actually like pictures of Christmas during the Philippines. So yeah, they have their own traditions here in the Philippines. So like you can see all the various like lanterns they have. They tend to have like some church services there, and overall like midnight church services during like the Christmas holiday. So it's really cool to like experience what the cultural aspects of Christmas is like in the Philippines. So it's really, honestly, like once again, I have not experienced Christmas in the Philippines since I was a little kid, so it almost marks like a return on what Christmas really feels like. So I'm just super excited for that. So yeah, really cool right there. And yeah, can't wait to spend time with family and friends during the holiday season. Another bullet point I do want to mention is, I don't know if I did this last year, but swimming, I think I did. Oh yeah, Yeah, I did. Oh yeah, like, I'm trying to like remember because like I did this last year, but of course I'm gonna swim at the beaches because the Philippines has some very nice beaches, of course. And yeah, probably weather during this time because like during the summertime it would sometimes rain, but during like the winter time because like the Philippines is located close to the equator, I think it should be at least summer during like the cold season, like during the winter months. So expect the waters to be warm during my stay. We might travel like within like because like we'll be mostly staying in the middle part in the Philippines. Manila is like kind of like the metropolitan area. There wasn't really anything too much because like traffic can get congested there, but it's mostly during like it's mostly in the middle part or southern part region in the Philippines where they like have some good beaches there. So yeah, that's my itinerary plan or my family's itinerary plan when we're there. But for my itinerary plan, of course, I want to do some Manila plane spotting as per usual. Because, like, I want to catch all the various, like, airlines, of course. Zip Air, I caught one. Like, I caught one of their planes right there. Qatar, Emirates, and then there's also Gulf Air. They were sending their 787s there. And, yeah, all the various, like, domestic airlines like Cebu Pacific, Air Asia Philippines, and Pal Express operating for Philippine Airlines with their A320s. So yeah, it's gonna be really cool. And yeah, extra family business. I'm not really want to go too much about extra family business because my parents eventually have some other like business offers, like business plans when we're in the Philippines. So don't want to go over that too much. But I can't wait to celebrate the new year 2025 when I'm at the Philippines. It's gonna be really interesting. So once again, I'll be celebrating both Christmas and New Year in the Philippines. I mostly celebrate New Year's here in the States, so it'll be interesting on what the New Year celebration is like in the Philippines. So yeah, I'll be experiencing that for the first time in many years. And yeah, it's gonna be really interesting to say the least, and I'm just super excited to see what that has to offer. So that's my plans during my stay. Now we go over 2025 during my flight back to America. So we're gonna move on to our next slide with this. So my third flight, which will be on January 3rd, will be, of course, EVA Air. I'll be going back to the States from Manila. So I'll be starting off at Ninoy Aquino. I'll be flying on the Airbus A330-300 this time from Manila to Taipei, so RPLL to RCTP. The flight number for that flight is flight 278. The flight time is the same time when I came to the Philippines, so 2 hours and 20 minutes. The departure time is 6:50 p.m. Philippine Standard Time, and the time of arrival is 9:10 p.m. China Standard Time, and I'll be seated at 622A. And yeah, this will be my first flight for 2025. So really interesting how this first flight for 2025 will be on this EVA Air A330-300. And last year was actually quite different because I also did mention that I'll be flying on an A330-300 during my summer trip. Unexpectedly, I've flown on EVA Air's A330-200, which a flight report will be coming soon on that. And what's really special about me flying an EVA Air A330-200 is because this was one of the last flights they had on their A330-200 because they ended up retiring that type last year. I'm not sure, not sure what month it was, but somewhere, because I think after I flown that aircraft, probably like weeks or months later, that aircraft was already withdrawn from use. So that was a really special flight, and yeah, that was my first and only time I've flown on EVA's A330-200, and yeah, it's gonna be a really interesting flight report to make once I get that video out. But I think this time, since that plane is already retired, I'll be flying under A330-300 this time. So really cool sequence of events right there, in my opinion. But honestly, that was really cool. And yeah, I had a really interesting cabin experience, like a flight experience under A32s. So yeah, once again, a flight report will be coming soon. I'm not sure when I'm gonna upload that, but it'll be coming out very, very soon. So hang tight, you guys. So that's the third flight right there, and that jumps into my second layover at Taiwan. And yeah, 2 hours and 20 minutes, kind of like the same deal. We ended up arriving late during my second layover last year. We ended up like arriving very late because like the aircraft was delayed in Manila, so we arrived there and we immediately went into a gate because like boarding was almost about to be called, and then oh my god, like we gotta like head to the gate right now before we miss our flight. But thankfully, I'm not gonna go over what happened afterwards. That's gonna be for like a future video coming up. But hopefully this time our flight is not delayed. We'll be staying in Taiwan for 2 hours and 20 minutes, and yeah, nothing really I don't have much to do in Taipei because it's nighttime. But I'd rather just grab some souvenirs while I'm at Taipei. Maybe as like some, I don't know, but yeah, some souvenirs I can grab there. But yeah, that is my second layover at Taiwan. And as for my final flight, or my flight going back to SFO, here it is. So this would be my fourth and final flight for this trip. I'll be flying on their 333s again, and it'll be from Taipei to San Francisco International, and the flight number will be flight 228 or 028. The flight time for that flight will be 11 hours, and the time of departure is 11:30 p.m. So 30 minutes before midnight in China Standard Time, and the time of arrival will be 6:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, and I'll be seated on the starboard side of the aircraft at seat 62K. So yeah, it's gonna be a very fun flight for me. Once again, I'm really excited to fly with EVA Air once again during my trip to the Philippines. And yeah, EVA Air, after my first experience with EVA Air during my 2023 summer trip, I'm just can't wait to experience them again. So yeah, I'm not really gonna, probably when I upload those flight reports in the future, I'm not really gonna go over too much on my experience, but rather just kind of give you my reference, difference between this flight and my previous flight in 2023. But on that, I'm still excited to upload those flight reports for you guys. So yeah, those will be coming out very soon, and I'm just super excited for it. So that's it for this trip. But before we conclude today's video, I want to give you guys my hopes during this trip. I actually had a different titles, and it said my expectations during this trip. I thought that was not really too reasonable, because I'm just expecting something to happen, and then this thing ends up being that. So I decided to change this title and just say my hopes. So I'm just hoping this will happen during this trip. So my hopes during this trip, here, let me restart that, say that again. So my hopes during this trip are, hopefully we can get some good weather during our stay. I know last year, because I went there during the summertime, it tends to rain. But probably during the winter season, it tends to get sunny a bit more often. I don't think it doesn't rain too much. So hopefully that happens. No delays during my flights. Of course, from last year's return to the States was an absolute train wreck. So hopefully there's no delays during either of my 4 flights. Hopefully I can spend some time with bonding time with my cousins. Of course, that's what I like to do whenever I come home to the Philippines, because I have cousins there. And my 4th bullet point and final one is having a great time with families and friends during the holidays. So spread the holiday cheer with families and friends that I love in the Philippines, and overall it's going to be very exciting for me. I'm just beyond excited to return home and spend Christmas with my families and friends who are in the Philippines. So I'm just super excited for that. And with that being said, everybody, that's it for this video. So yeah, once again, I'm just super excited to return to the Philippines. Super excited to spend some bonding time with families and friends during the Christmas holiday. It will be my first Christmas trip. Well, technically, trip during the Christmas holiday. And of course, I'll be in the Philippines on the 24th and 25th. So that's going to be really interesting, to say the least. And yeah, the different cultural aspects of Christmas really differs in the Philippines compared to America. So I'm just super excited to see what that has to offer. And I'm just really excited to return home once again, because this has been a yearly tradition for my family. So it'll be my first Christmas vacation, or my first Christmas in the Philippines ever since I was a little kid, and I'm just super excited to relive the imagination from my previous years back when I was a little kid. So super excited for this trip, and make sure to follow along with me on my Instagram stories, because I post up-to-date stuff from that social media website. So hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe to my YouTube channel, and turn on that post notification bell so you won't miss a video like this anytime soon. So that's it for today's video. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Anyways, good night.